All right, hope everyone's doing okay out there. This is Dave Loves Comics with a short little video. The DC, make sure I got it. DC fandom. The DC fandom has gone past the first start of it, the first stage of it, and they played a lot of trailers and a lot of up and coming movies, and some stuff was very exciting. I think the most buzz was truly the Matt Reeves DC Batman. It just it had familiar look, but also a newer vibe and look. But Batman is always the strongest cinematic, superhero out there. Now, one of the things, excuse me. Now, one of the things I'm noticing, everyone's talking about the trailers of Suicide Squad, Batman, Wonder Woman, and critiquing it and looking at it, and The Rock through the Atom. But I really want to just, the purpose of this video is two things that I noticed that I don't hear much people talking about. I do see a few articles about it, but the biggest thing, first of all, is one of the big panels was a talk of the DC multiverse. And, that's all, different verses and different, how we do explain three different Batmans and two Flashes here and whatever the case may be, which is, I guess people, dying to know. But that's what I really looked at is they had a panel and it was Walter Hamada, Greg Berlanti, and Jim Lee. And what I'm really blown away with sitting back was the television component. There used to be the stepchild, the Arrowverse, and a lot of DC fans was like, I want to see it on the movie. I looked at it. I just don't have the patience for it. But the influence of Greg Berlanti to be sitting on the table with the head of the Warner Brothers Entertainment and Jim Lee, who's going to be the middleman of it, making very strong suggestions. So TV is on the same level as the movies. And I know Greg Berlanti was saying there was a lot of characters that he wanted to use during the Arrow days, and was like, well, it's going to be a movie. These characters was going to be, the movies. Arrow, in its prime days, had their own version of the Suicide Squad. And anybody, if you can Netflix and stuff, but the guy who played they had a Harley Quinn. It was crazy. I was like, oh my God. But they had a Deadshot version. And that storyline, those two episodes, Google Arrow and their Deadshot, and just, if you got a little free time, which is something exciting, it was wonderful. But that Deadshot, I don't want to get in the ending of it, but they pulled Deadshot because they didn't want competition, or people to be confused, and was used for the Suicide Squad. But flashback now to today, Greg Lynch is like, a lot of those characters that they was asking for may not get a movie, or at this point, just throw something at the wall and it will make it more popular. But Greg has also talked about, and Jim Lee and everyone, was that he planned on having more crossover with movie cinematic characters. And that's a big jump. And to say that the Flash movie, they're going to, somehow acknowledge that he got his name from the television Grant Gustin Flash. And I just go, wow. They showed the Green Lantern ring on the ending of the Flash. So, so it's going to open doors of that. And what I really want to emphasize is that's, it's good for hardcore fans and maybe not for casual fans because it's a lot to digest. But the number one thing is that's going to cause competition, which competition is good for everyone who has their own version. Because and who connects more with a particular fan base, because it's on a larger scale, if you working with a character and you're not getting good feedback or ratings or box office, the character that has an artist you can be working with can be franchised by Warner Brothers to someone else. And there's no rules with DC, which I mean, I guess we'll get some product of it. But if you connect with a particular character and don't have a strong base behind it, I mean, you may not be rewarded with a repeat reviewing. I think of Jared Leto. Some people thought he got a raw end of the stick. But the big thing about the Ayer cut, the director of Suicide Squad, the first one, the big thing is the cut is because it's more Joker scenes. So if Joker didn't connect to the public from Warner Brothers' eyes, you got Joaquin Phoenix and you win it out. And really, the big push is for like Batman. You have Batman on Titan. You got a doppelganger on Batwoman. So that and Kevin Conroy was on the Supergirl crossover too. So that's 3 Batmans. One on HBO Max, 2 in the CW Arrow. Ben Affleck is still holding it down. Ben Affleck, and you got the Robert Pattinson. So it's like make the best one win. And I mean, people say, oh, they love different versions of Batmans, but the mainstream casual public, they only gonna. I mean, it may be a little overkill for them, but whoever got the better story, and resonate with the public. But that's one point that I want to just, emphasize. Number 2, they had a beautiful panel. I'm going to look over here. The Women of Color panel on the DC Fandom, which was excellent. I mean, it was just the beautiful women of colors and shades and representation. And Candace Patton, 2014, she got so many harassment over Iris West that it was unbelievable. And she's not the first to change, to take a character traditionally known as, be, non-black. I can imagine what Eartha Kitt went through, who came up, in the 60s. But it was a beautiful panel, and the women coming now are just her children. I mean, there is the African American Iris West in the Snyder cut, which is beautiful, and even the Spider-Man in the Marvel, they have the Mary Jane is over there. Tom Holland, his Spider-Man's got a particular taste, the lady is, but that's go ahead, Spider-Man. But best thing about the panel, though, going back to the women of the color, I happened to notice, and I'm remembering, all of the actresses that was there was, you got characters, beautiful women of color, but from the HBO Max was represented, the CW was represented, and you had the Megan Good from the Shazam. So HBO Max, Arrowverse, and the cinematic universe, all of the women was equally represented together at the round table, and I just go like, that's it's getting us used to, I mean, here's another TV show crossover event, in the works. But I thought that panel really should have got a lot more press. Milestone, the black comic publishing company from the 90s, they were supposed to be returning. They've had some crossovers in DC Comics, but DC Milestone Comics or Milestone on their own, with the world of, Static came from. And that was a beautiful, panel as well. That should have got a little bit more press. But But that's my overtakes. Like I said, this video is about, we seen the trailers. If you enjoy the trailers, let's see what's coming on DC. We'll see what we do. But I'm just want to emphasize of this cross multi-universe. We say it's story form, but in the business sense, it's it's like pirates. Let me grab a piece. Let me grab a piece. Let me see what you can do. Let me see what you can do. And like I said, not to compare, DC or Marvel, it's, you can, do different versions of, characters and stuff, but you want a unified structure of it before you start branching out, just to get support. Because I know as DC, you want everyone together to be supportive, and a lot of people are, but I did see a lot of people just the timing, and with the Snyder cut, and with the Ben Affleck coming with Flash and Michael Keaton, my man Matt Reeves, but he delivered. I mean, and when you do classic film, the look of the film is very familiar. Got to be a little bit of Nolan. It's got a little bit of David Fincher, but it's got, he even mentioned, other film noirs and things and vibes like that. And that's what make Batman such a cinematic thing, because in its simplest form, it's a man in the cape driven by, a passion, which is, that's Clint Eastwood or Humphrey Bogart or anything. You identify with that Bruce Wayne character because he's damaged, and you know he's unhinged, and you want to take that ride with it, and I just say that is a beautiful thing. But DC, they coming strong, and I'm enjoying, but but. This is, the Christ on the Affinity Earth is put the gauntlet down. And my man, Greg Valenti is just like, it is no rules. It's on. And we'll see how it is. So just something to throw it out, and everyone be safe, wear a mask, vote, and peace. And David loves comics. Thank you for watching.